get no. So, what's next? What's up, man? How's it going? You're not going to go to oh, maybe I'll. So it's coffee guys tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And Mike is saying no because he's lost his entire baseball and college. Of course. So maybe I'll. So maybe so supposedly, from Planology to the air. Oh, you'll be down. I probably got a ton of money down. You know what? You know what I hate about that though is I've already got about $200 free here, but it's like $100 vouchers. I can't break it down to small amounts, and it's one play over, so I could probably do nothing. And they take it. Well, but it's still worth about what do you have?
Instigator. Listen, probably you didn't drink that lemon. You had 40.
That's absolutely correct.
That is correct. That is the most accurate thing I've said.
I'll tell you.
If I'm this front,
And you're not playing at all, and we do the plan, we're equal.
go home. Oh, we're going on. And you were I get you complimented.
I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I'll tell you what, and you know what, one of the things I want to do on the podcast is replaying audio of Mike saying something.
Just by
So he see, and
it was bad.
you said there. Okay, all right. It's very wise. You said there are like no nonstop flights from Minneapolis to Las Vegas, and we got a response from Zach or Jackson. So I'll let you defend. Instead, you said they called Sun Valley. And you have that's the gas tank like even overhead.
My neighbor's was
Overhead back, you have to pay extra, right? Right. No, he's got this spiral back, right? Huge things full of like humidifier.
husband lives over Marion. It's only like a 10-15 minute walk or drive. It's really not that bad.
I can play.
I can have a good
Paris, France. Okay. Yeah, Paris, California is St. Louis. It's smaller.
But it's like trying to
But Paris, California is far.
I'm a bell.
So there's like a Las Vegas,
They got it
right? And
Oh, yeah. Mexico. Here's the hard rock.
and
There's
there's a Las Vegas, New Mexico, and there's a San Diego, Texas.
I go to Tulsa for work. I don't want to go there for work. If they go for it, I'll have to go down.
Oh, I'll do it. I know what I was going to say. The first podcast Admiral.
Because I already know what
Adam and it was Scott Roven. And Scott Roven and Adam are mortal enemies.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Yeah. So my name is Schwartz, and I've been asked to kick things off tonight, and I'll do that. Just by talking a little bit about Mark and what drew him to Vegas, history, and a little bit about what draws all of us together. So I've got some questions, just something to think about. Why are we all here? What do we all have in common?
Vegas.
Vegas, okay. And what is it about Vegas that draws so many different people here? Why? What is it? Why are we in Phoenix?
The dream.
All right. Why not Flagstaff? Why Vegas?
It's exciting.
It's exciting. There's something different. There's something special. There's that feeling that anything at all can happen. You know? Part of the charm of Vegas, right, is that it's all about the reinvention. The constant reinvention. Never the same twice, you know? How many people have been coming to Vegas how many people have been coming here for 2 years? 2 years. How about 5 years? 10? 15? 20, anybody? All right. So you've all seen such incredible changes. Yeah, how about 30? 30, yeah, all right. Yeah. Well, I don't know if I want to go up from there. So you've seen a lot of changes, is what I'm saying. And Vegas is not always a town that appreciates its own history. I think to its detriment. It doesn't always appreciate its own history. As someone who has spent a lot of time studying that history and trying to help preserve that history, it's something I've gotten used to. So it's really incredible for me when I meet somebody who actually appreciates that history. And that is how I met Mark. And that is what is so wonderful about what Mark did. Because number one, most people are just attracted to Vegas, I guess, because of what's new, what's happening now. And Mark was able to see past that into the stuff that I think is really fascinating, which is that deep history, which so many people walk by and don't even get, you know? And I just think it's wonderful that we're all here to remember him, you know, in a way that I think he would appreciate. Because how many people here would say that they're kind of Vegas history nerds? Yeah, come on in. Please, thank you. Cars over there? Come on in. I feel like nerdy enough. I feel like I know stuff. And I hope I am. Isn't it exciting to meet somebody else who's fascinated by that? Isn't that awesome? Doesn't that just make the world a little bit of a brighter place to have that in here? And this is so cool to see that. And you wonder, why? What makes it so fascinating? What makes it different from other cities? You know, and I think part of it is the casinos, but I think it goes deeper than that. It's the fact that in Vegas, people can really do whatever they want to do, and nobody's going to stop them, right? And it leads to a lot of things. All those casinos have been built, right? Other cities have gaming, we know that. They haven't made Vegas something different than Vegas. Now, if we're looking back into history, where do we think the turning point is? When did Vegas really switch into something different? Anyone have any ideas?
Mirage.
Mirage is huge. Mirage really did change a lot, and the Vegas of today is the direct descendant of the Mirage. You know, we wouldn't have seen that. Anything earlier than that, too. Yeah.
Jay Sarno.
Absolutely, Jay Sarno was the one. I like to think that he brought the drama, the mystery to Vegas. Before him, it was definitely an exciting town, not necessarily a fantastic town, in the sense of, hey, come on in, not that sense. You know, let's go back even further.
Block 16.
Yeah, Block 16. That's incredible. And, you know, it's interesting because for a lot of people, Vegas history doesn't go that far back. You know, for Mark, it went all the way back. And he wasn't just interested in the stuff on the surface. He really wanted to go down and do some deep research, which not everybody does. So that's why it's so great to be able to appreciate that. And I just find it wild that so many people are so interested in this. And it's just so wonderful to share. But what really brings it all together, again, coming back to Vegas, is that sense that anything can happen. Anything at all. So with that in mind, I want to turn the mic over to someone maybe you may describe as the king. Perhaps a reflection of the king, perhaps a reflection of the reflection of the king. I'm waiting to say this for a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. I wanted to, Dr. Dave, everyone, give it up for Dr. Dave. Give it up for Banana Bacon Sandwich, round of applause. All right, everybody, I want to test your rhythm real quick. Oh, you're putting those hands together. Are you ready? Here we go. Put your hands together like this. Very nice. Here we go. All right. Gonna set my soul. Gonna set my soul. Gonna find it. Ready to burn. So get those things up higher. See if you know what I mean. Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Warming up in the back there. Somebody give me this fancy gadget here. I'm going to read here. and introduce our panel. But one more time, Dr. Dave, everyone. And let's hope he hasn't had more than 2 lemon drop martinis, because that's his limit. He won't be able to talk after that. So, you're good, Dave? You should. Okay, cool. All right, everyone. We're going to introduce this amazing panel here. Are you ready? Oh, no, I don't think you're ready. I said, are you ready? That is the spirit. All right, everyone. Introducing Podcasters After Dark at ZorkFest 2025. Woo-hoo! Come on. All right, Vegas, that's right. Dr. Dave, your nickname is VegasDuffy? Or no, okay, VegasDuffy is our first guy here. Oh, there we go. I got confused here. Yeah, well, I've had it. I was up there for a while. All right, your first panelist here, VegasDuffy. Now, he's actually the one that can't have more than 2. He's already got 2 folks. So if he falls out of his chair, you'll know what happened. Just give him another one. It'll be fine. VegasDuffy, welcome to the panel. Welcome once again, VegasDuffy here. Come on. All right, and continue with our panel here. We were just having a lovely conversation about our peanut butter, banana, and bacon sandwiches over there. She used to live in Memphis, but 360Vegas, Keren, everybody. Come on, give it up. She's consistent as well. All right, you guys are doing it correctly. All right. This is not Keren's first rodeo. Welcome. And if I'm in anybody's way, then you just let me know, and I'll get more in your way. Just kidding. All right, next up to the panel, everybody, please put your hands together for 360Vegas. Josh, welcome to the panel. Hey, Josh, you look like you're very short there. Yeah, that's okay. We'll get you another one. Oh, sorry. Man, you guys are professionals. All right. Here we go, welcoming our next panelist, Mark DeVol. Am I saying that correctly? Yeah, all right. And Dr. Mike. Mark and Dr. Mike. Come on, yes. That's right. I feel like I'm the price is right. Yeah.
Don't run.
Do you have your other drink up here? Okay, you're good. Wherever you'd like. Yeah, I will let you find a spot here. There we go.
I'll sit right.
All right, who do we have next here? Dr. Mike is coming. Oh, there, Dr. Mike. Everybody get up for Dr. Mike here. He wants to go the other way. He doesn't like to go this way. That's okay. He's on the short way. He didn't want to be here. He was like, I hear, oh, this is smelly. How you doing, Dr. Mike? Come on over here. All right, everyone, your next panelist here, we're going to introduce, and this is another good last name, I like it, Bill Krackomberger. Did I say that correctly? All right. Welcome, sir. I love that hat. Looking sharp. We're going to get you another drink, too. Or you're just drinking water. Hydrate. Yep. You are in the desert. Yeah, hydrate there. Welcome, Bill. And Bill Krackomberger is Fox Sports Radio Countdown to Kickoff. So one more time for Bill, everybody. Come on. All right, and the handy at the Chandy, that's James Tierney. Come on up here. All right, do we have, is that everybody? Did I get everyone? All right, now, everyone, to take the mic from me. And are you going to sing for us as well?
Yeah, probably take.
Well, it's you. Everyone, your next host here is on his first drink, so I think we're okay. Once again, give it up for Josh Duffy. Come on. Good evening, everybody.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
You got no mic? Oh, okay.
I hit it.
Gotcha.
Thanks for being here. I won't introduce everybody again because we did it already. Mark DeVol is ready.
I'm ready.
Trust me, I'm ready.
You were ready like 3 hours
Mark
ago.
got an early start. So as we go, this is going to be pretty informal. We're going to ask people from the audience to participate if they want to, except for certain people. It's not my birthday. Anybody wishes me a happy birthday? It's not my birthday. But let's start with a little bit of, we've already got introductions. I want everybody to kind of go down the road. We know we have some traveling miles folks here, some people that are fairly new to Vegas and gambling and that kind of thing. I want to kind of go down. I'll have some questions for our individual panelists. But talk about what, if you were going to introduce somebody to that list.
Okay, Josh, you've been on one of these panels before. You
I know, it's very
understand the wrangling that's
You're
going to have
supposed
to
to
happen. I am not, no, I wrangled on my podcast. I'm not
You're a
wrangling.
moderator, it's the most important job, just stick to it.
Okay,
Josh?
all right. All right. If you're introducing somebody that's never played in a casino before, never gambled, what game would you introduce them to and why?
Are you gonna start with Bill?
Wherever you want to start. Let's start with Bill.
Oh, great, so I'm just on the end of it.
I know, well, Mark did it. We can work on it. James, why don't you start?
James.
If you're introducing somebody to gambling in a casino, what are you starting with?
I'm starting with roulette because I think that's just the easiest way to say, what's your favorite number between 00 and 36? Triple zero. What's your favorite number between the Venetian logo and 36? And you put your money on it, that's what I would do.
Now, Bill.
Of course, I would say sports betting. I'm an advantage sports bettor, so at the places I'm allowed to play in town, I'm throwing out a lot of them. For not doing anything wrong, I'm just using my brain. But I would say like Westgate, Circa, South Point, yeah. I'm not allowed to play here. So sports betting, it's a 3-4 hour game. It's more, it's only 4.5% compared to other games in town, other reels or even. I like video poker. It's a lower hold, but I would still say sports betting is a little bit slower on your money.
I'm going to echo James. I think roulette's the way to go. There's no strategy, right? You don't have to teach someone when to hit and when not to hit. You don't have to teach someone. I mean, craps is just right out, right? Yeah, video poker. I love video poker, but you've got to know your hand. If somebody's never gambled, they don't know the sequence of the hand. And so I think roulette's, pick a number. Did your number come up or did your color come up? Yay, you won. It's pretty simple.
See, that's a better answer because that's actually how I learned to gamble was on roulette. I wish I thought that. I was going to say, buy somebody one of those blackjack cheat cards and sit them in front of one of the video poker ones where you don't have to worry about somebody's, you took my card and you should have hit and you should have done that bullshit. But sit them down there and just say, look, whatever hand you get dealt, look at the card, that tells you how to bet, and this is what you do. And they can do it low denomination.
I would say video poker. Those who follow Dr. Mike and me, we know craps, that's our game, but video poker, the great thing about video poker is that you don't necessarily need to know how to play it perfectly to understand the game. You're drawing cards to get a poker hand. So you might not be playing it perfectly, but it's fun to play. There's no pressure. Nobody's going to complain about you misplaying your hand. You can stop, you can get a drink. There's plenty of video poker at bars, bar top video poker. I'd say video poker.
Well, all of my esteemed colleagues here have given very good answers.
But the right one is?
But the right answer is, and the thing that they should learn first is how to work the ATM machine. That's what I would teach them. Look, you gotta know the ATM machine so you never run out. Now this is or slots, I guess. Slots. Or slots. I'm surprised nobody said slots. Yeah, slots.
I mean, slots is good, but the thing about video poker is you have a decision to make. Slots, you just hit a button. Video poker, it's a little more interesting because you actually get to make a decision. And I would never suggest blackjack, even though it's the most popular table game, because look on it, you sit at a table and then somebody complains about how you play your hand, and it's no fun.
Unless you play it in the way that I said it, one of the video things where nobody is competing.
Video blackjack. is the way to go.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I was feeling a little attacked
Yeah,
there.
no, you're good.
Once again, you're missing the point here. Something easy to learn, okay? Slots, you put your money in, you press the button. You don't even have to know if you won, he'll tell you.
I have to.
Bill,
The
question,
gentleman from Minnesota.
Bill, question for you. So we're talking about introducing new gamblers. Do you, I know you're a resident, probably advantage player on the panel. The only one of us that maybe has ever won gambling. Do you play for fun?
No, hardly ever. I'll have some people come to town or something occasionally. I had some cousins from New Jersey come to town, and they wanted to go to the crap table. And even though I have very, very large six-figure swings sometimes on the weekend in sports, even for me to buy in for 100 or two, sometimes it's hard for me to even do that. I hate giving the casinos anything. They're the mortal enemies, like a boa constrictor and a mongoose here. I just can't stand the casinos for some of the things they do. I'm sorry to say that in no way casino.
No, I love that answer from an advantage player, right? Bill's probably the only advantage player.
Right.
I love that answer.
But don't get me wrong, I was a stone cold loser up until I was 26, 27 years old. So I've been in the advantage now for 30 years. It took someone to show me the light, show me the way, and I've done that successfully for the last 30 years. Never had a losing year. But it's not what I recommend for anyone. There's so many skill sets, that it takes to be an advantage gambler. It's really tough to do, especially now in 2025. It's getting tougher and tougher. Casinos now hire people like me to show them the ropes of what they need. You have people that run casinos. They have college degrees, nice, safe, cushy job up in the office. They go from their car to the office. They try to stay away from the casino floor. They don't want to be asked any questions. They pray to God, please don't ask no questions or let me jeopardize my job today. They just, and they're, like I said, not trying to pick on any casino individually. Matter of fact, the president of the Golden Nuggets just called me recently and said he'd be on one of my shows. I was surprised, because usually no one like that would want to be on the show. So they just don't want to ruin their $500,000 a year job by saying something wrong. Recently, the head of Caesars, nobody's hired. It's in the Las Vegas Review-Journal. The head of the Caesars Palace said, why? They asked, why are you closing your diamond lounges and your M4 lounges? And I don't know what this guy was thinking. You should stay far away from the microphone. You know what he told me? He said to the Las Vegas Review-Journal, I really shouldn't have to pay if they go to McDonald's in the morning. Like, he shouldn't have to give him comps. Scott Reed, you can read it, just Google what I'm saying, you'll see where it's right in the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Like, guys like that need to stay far away from any microphone. But when you're making by the way, real number, $24 million a year, I guess you feel like you can say what you want.
Hey, Josh, I have
Yes.
a question for Phil.
Yeah, go ahead.
Phil, what do you think of these new prediction market apps, like college? How's that going to affect it?
It is going to
What's
affect
the
it.
take on that?
Yeah.
So the question is, what do you think of the new prediction market app?
Kalshi and Polymarket.
Right, because today I got Ohio -4, and my county app was -3.5.
Well, as you see, during the presidential election, that's when I heard of Kalshi. They spent $7 million on the strip on full billboards ads for the presidential election. So Joe Public was going to the casino and said, I need the bread on, Trump or the other guy, either side. And saying, you can't bet it on here. Well, there's a sign outside that says I can bet it. Well, that's on the Kalshi app. So Kalshi actually has cut into the sportsbooks market so much that the DraftKings and FanDuels of the world are now looking at the prediction markets. Now, last week, class action lawsuit. This town is still a cowboy town. It's a very strong town. There's very strong people in this town. There's a line, I'm sure you people all seen the movie Casino. At least I hope you did. Ace Schwartz and the county commissioner comes in and he said, Mr. Rothstein, the house is doing great tonight. You're making a lot of money. Appreciate you taking your time to see this little servant. He asked for a favor, and the Robert De Niro, his character, Ace Schwartz, says, I'm sorry, I can't give your nephew this job. And the commissioner stands up with his cowboy boots and says, Mr. Rothstein, you people will never know how it works out here. You're all just our guests. And guess what? That's still the way this town is. It's run by some very powerful people. We have a gaming commission that won't let DraftKings and FanDuel book bets in this town. last week, class action lawsuit, lots of stuff going on. A judge in this town, the only state in America in the nation, said cow sheet is illegal in Nevada. So this is the only state in the nation that you can't bet cow sheet is here in Nevada. Now a class action lawsuit it's going back and forth, but this is a very powerful town. But cow sheet, what they do, and probably market, it's a lower juice. If you go right to the sports book here, you're laying $1.10 to win $1 each way. With cow sheet and these other prediction markets that have markets peer-to-peer betting, it's a lot less juice. It's probably about 50 to 60% savings. So they don't want nothing to interfere with their money here in town. And right now, Nevada is saying the judge said it's illegal to use cow sheet.
That's why I wanted to ask, because I live in New Jersey, so we can use it, but I was just thinking, how is that affecting me, maybe that?
You should have it. Every sports bettor that takes sports serious should have it.
So there's one of the few advantages of betting outside of Nevada, is you've got a few more options there.
Isn't it ironic that Nevada is one of the worst places? Bill, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's one of the worst places to bet sports, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. Now, I have some good arrangements with, like I said, the Surfers of the World, Westgate, South Point, even the Wynn. I'm allowed to bet sports there. What I'm going to bet is everything I bet, they smart enough, they have traders that move the line based on my bet. So, I'm betting professionally for 30 years.
So,
I've been with some of the best groups
I'm
in the
gonna
world.
jump in
There's
there.
a level of self-confidence there that I appreciate very much.
Well, I work with the best gambling syndicates in the world.
No,
Pay a lot of taxes on my win.
That was not sarcasm at all. It's the fact that if I'm sitting in a panel with somebody who's moved the line, holy shit.
All right, switching topics just
Speaking
a
of
little bit.
taxes, what do you think about the big beautiful bill?
Let's not go too far down.
Oh, it's terrible.
Let's eventually get back to that
It is
because
terrible.
it's horrible. Yeah. And, what constitutes a session when it comes to sports betting? Now, let's come back to it, but go ahead, John.
I was just gonna say, it kind of relates to what we were talking about as far as changing in Las Vegas, and I wanna direct this first to Keren and Josh. What do you like about the changes in Las Vegas that we've seen? Like what, and
Lately?
well, just
Not
as,
much.
as Vegas has changed, is there any positives that you see?
Again, lately, not much. One of the things that I did see lately that I liked was Hornbuckle, on one of his last media things, basically said that, yeah, we got too greedy, we priced ourselves out of the market. And the fact that the CEO of MGM said, we got greedy, I'm like, holy shit.
To be honest, it
Now,
was refreshing.
it was. Now, have we seen anything change? No. What do I like? I mean, honestly, I like about Vegas that it will reinvent itself. Dr. Dave mentioned this a little bit earlier. Vegas will constantly change and evolve, and so there's always something new. And sometimes you have to pay attention because sometimes the new is really subtle. What I personally love living here in the city now is the new is sometimes not on the strip. It's in, if you haven't been down to the Arts District, there's no gambling there, but the restaurants, the bars, the shopping, everything that's happening down, literally, the museums, the art museums, all this kind of stuff, it's so much fun. You can spend an entire day there, drinking your way down through the craft breweries, popping into different restaurants and doing all that. That's what I like about Vegas that I've seen right now. If you're still talking about the strip and the big corporations that are running everything, yeah, not much.
That makes sense. If you were to recommend somebody that's new to Vegas, or just somebody that comes off and that doesn't go off the strip, you would say the Arts District, go check it out?
Yeah.
100%. We have a friend who comes here every year for March Madness, and his wife comes along, and her best friend travels in from whatever. They don't gamble, they don't like the strip, they're tired of it. This last trip, I met up with them. I'm like, go spend a day in the Arts District. Start at this end and work your way. And I talked to her after the fact. She's like, we had the best time. It was restaurants and bars and shops and museums and everything within walking distance. It's fantastic and reasonable. Very reasonable. The Arts District is a fantastic place.
All right, different kind of vein here, something that might get people a little stirred up. Let's start with Mark and Dr. Mike, and then I want to get James's take. Talk to me about casino etiquette. What are some mistakes, some etiquette things that people do in casinos that drive you crazy?
So,
those of you who follow us know that we play craps quite a bit. So, yeah, gosh, casino etiquette. I mean, we've seen it this trip alone. You know, it just, in general, be respectful of other people. You know, that really is a very general statement. Now, we play craps a lot. Don't buy in the middle of a roll. That's obvious. If you're at a blackjack table, please don't tell other players how to play their hand. All right? It doesn't matter in the long run, and it alienates people, right? You know, my mother-in-law was so intimidated at playing at a blackjack table. She wanted me to sit with her because she was so intimidated about how not just the dealer would interact with her, but how other players would interact with her. That's the biggest one, I think, is I hate to single out blackjack, but doggone it, blackjack players, it's a great game, but I even don't like playing it because somebody has something to say about it. Or they say, oh, you know, I beat this game. Or, oh, you shouldn't have hit that 12 against a 2. That, I think, is the big one.
Yeah, I agree with Mark. But asking me that question's kind of loaded.
I know.
Because I can come up with it. I think we need to be here the rest of the night talking about that. The thing that gets me on the craps table, and this happened to us twice today, somebody comes out, buys in, and then doesn't make a bet.
Doesn't make a bet.
And
Yeah.
sits there, they stop the game to buy in their, you know, $150 or something, and then doesn't make a bet. And the only thing worse than that is the one who, you know, buys in, doesn't make a bet, and then someone says out, oh, and they leave.
And you know, a 7, for those of you who know craps, 7 is usually the bad roll. And yeah, when somebody buys in, it doesn't make the 7 more likely to come up. But gamblers are superstitious.
You're messing with the mojo.
Yeah, right. You know, and that's the whole thing is that, yeah, especially in craps and a lot of gambling, it's a community game, and you're messing with it. Yeah, so don't
Well,
mess
that's why etiquette is so difficult, Mark, because it's humans.
Right. Yeah, it's all etiquette. The casino doesn't.
You mean
really-
people suck?
Yeah.
Yeah, people suck. Yeah. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
James, anything to add on etiquette?
Yeah, I was thinking, I'll go away from craps. Hitting the fucking buttons real hard.
Yeah.
And sometimes if Duffy has had a few too many and we're at the video poker bar, he's just the whole time. And I have to bite my tongue. Because the buttons, they get broken, and then I'm going to try and hold 4 to a flush, and there's only 3 of them, and then I get pissed off. So just be gentle with the machine. Mostly it's Duffy's fault.
Okay.
It's not yours. It's not yours.
You just threw the moderator in her butt. That was a bold move.
What about the lady?
Maybe they did a better job moderating.
What about the lady sitting at the slot machine playing 2 machines, one with her hand and the other one with her toes?
Have you seen that?
I have seen that. I have a picture of it actually. I took a picture of her. Yeah, she was sitting laid back and she's hitting this one and the other one's on her toes up there pressing.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay, well, that
Some
tells
people
us
pay
more
money.
about you than it does about her.
Was that on Fremont?
You know what that was? You know what that was, Mark?
No. Yamava, which is a casino in California, very popular casino, probably the best
Biggest
casino.
one in.
So potentially related to etiquette, this can be for everybody. If you could teach one new Vegas visitor to learn, a Vegas visitor to learn one thing before gambling, what would it be? About gambling,
Pick some.
Yeah, okay, well, let's start out with Bill. Bill, for a new gambler, what would you teach him?
You're playing something negative, EV, your expected value is negative. Do not go in intending to win. Excellent. So don't go in intending to win. You're playing something that has house odds against you. Know that. Don't get upset when you lose. Etiquette, I was going to jump on etiquette. I can't stand when I see someone yelling at a dealer or a floor person.
Yeah, absolutely.
The abuse there is absolutely, gamble like a man or a woman. Don't go in there and get mad at the dealer. And, they watch the movies like, again, go back to casino. They watch Joe Pesci, throwing cards at the dealer. They see this, and these new kids, they can do that and get away with it. I hate that.
Anybody else have anything to add there? Go ahead, Karen.
Mine is mine's definitely a Vegas etiquette thing, and I think it relates to gambling because it will be karma coming back to bite you in the ass. Do not walk down the sidewalk 4 wide.
Yes.
And
Most people in Mosey, yeah.
well, no, not even moseying. You're walking down the Las Vegas sidewalk, and I get you're with a group of people, but when you walk 4 wide and expect everybody to move because you're there, that's when I start, and I learned this from my mom. I learned how to shoulder check because I'm like, I am fucking moving. You're 4 of you, and there's 2 of us, and the other person stepped behind me, so I'm in the lead as, behind me, guard, cool with that. You're not gonna move, guess what? We're gonna have an interaction.
I was just gonna mention that right before you did. And I was gonna also say that going back about 40 years, people crossing the street. Remember before the bridges and all that were?
I think
I mean, you could not
for
drive
the
down the
bridges
street
every
without
day.
the fear of hitting someone.
Because the few intersections now, especially as a local who drives in Las Vegas, when there's not a crosswalk that they have to go up and over.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
or outside of Planet Hollywood.
Yeah.
No. Sorry. Stress moment. Anybody else about gambling etiquette?
I mean, crossing that crosswalk at PH is a gamble.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think some of those crosswalks we want to keep because it does allow Darwin's law to maintain itself. So I would, any new gambler, I would have them get a player's club card. And we're talking about like loyalty and points and miles. The new gamblers don't know, hey, if you get this and let them track you, you might get some cool offers, when you open your email in a month. So I would teach them to do that right away.
So kind of continuing on the theme on changes in Vegas, if you could go back to some time in Las Vegas history, bring back something, whether it's queer theming in casinos, or the Rat Pack days, or something you look back on fondly, not necessarily we were alive during Rat Pack days, but something you think that Vegas is lacking now that we had in days of yore. What would it be?
Desert Inn.
Why?
Desert Inn.
Why?
Because it was the greatest place in the world to play. You're a pin drop in there.
So Dr. Mike and I are probably the oldest ones here, but honestly, it was fun to come to Vegas when we were in our 20s and get the prime rib dinner for, $5.99, right? It's changed. I'm not complaining about Vegas. We've got fantastic food here now. But Mike and I are from the day when it was like, you could get food so cheap and they get you in and out fast so you gamble more. We kind of miss that, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Desert Inn, I miss that so much. It was so, it was the place to be, and you never knew who you were going to see in there, right?
And like coffee shops, right? How many coffee shops are on the Strip? Not really. I keep thinking of, it's 4 Queens. What's
There's
it?
a Starbucks on
That's fine. That's kind of done right now. And again, I'm not complaining, but I kind of wish that, you just go to a 24-hour coffee shop.
And play Keno.
I play Keno. You can't play Keno anywhere now. It's steak and eggs, for $2.99. So I love the change. I love the modern things, but I do miss that.
James?
Oh, thanks. I was going to say Keno because I didn't want to, but now that since you already mentioned it, I don't want to mention it.
Like Keno.
What I miss, like really the only thing that I miss from at least my time as the youngest person up here.
Are you sure? Yes. It's okay.
No, but when I started coming here with my buddies, we could go to the Bellagio Sportsbook, and as long as you had something that resembled a sports ticket that you bet at some point in the last 2 years in front of you, you could order a drink and give a $1 tip and just have a really good time with your buddies there. And now it's, you got to spend whatever, $100 and you get 1 drink ticket and everything like that. So I think that's
lights on slot, lights on video poker machines.
Lights on video poker machines.
Right.
And that's obviously coming with, there's reasons for that and costs and whatnot, but I'm not complaining. I like the way it is now, but I would love to be able to come with some of my friends who don't want to gamble and be able to experience the way that I experienced Vegas when I first started coming.
3/4 of the town now, you cannot get a free drink in the sports book, no matter how much you bet.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So you cannot get one at all. And it's really unfortunate. It's just not right. Some of the old school places even, you cannot get drinks for free. I mean, there's so many things, though, going back to the prices on food, we have some unbelievable restaurants in town, but they're gonna hit you over the head. I mean, you know, it's really expensive for these places. We have a couple places now, kind of throw back a little bit, the South Point, midnight to 6 a.m., Station Casinos, 11 p.m. to 7 p.m., 11 to 6. They do have specials on like steak and eggs for $7, and it's excellent, by the way. And it's in their coffee shop, Coronado, I think, the one at South Point, Coronado Cafe. If you ask someone what a coffee shop is today under 40, they're going to point you to Starbucks, but they don't know what coffee. But there is a little bit of throwback there in town. We do have those specials. There's about 10 of them on the South Point one. It's fantastic. People line up for them. Literally, the old shrimp cocktails and stuff are like $2. And really, really good. The old deal is really good.
If I can tag on to that, something that I missed that I didn't get to see in Vegas, and I really wish was there, was when people would go to a nice fine dining restaurant and actually dress up. And not walk in with board shorts and a hat on backwards, do whatever else. There's an aspect of, there are some really good restaurants in Vegas. Some of them are pricey, yes, but if you're going into one of the finer dining restaurants, dress like you're going to a fine dining restaurant. And then don't get shitty, sorry, I might be the one that cusses most on this whole panel, but don't get shitty with the restaurant. They're like, we have a dress code. I'm like, what do you mean? Okay, I get Vegas. I'm sure. I'm not that far off, but I'm not. No, I never did, no. It wasn't, when they're dressing on airplanes, I was, yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. But no, it's one of those things where like respect the situation and what you're in, and there's so many people that come to Vegas and they just think anything goes, and I can walk into anywhere and wear whatever I want, do whatever I want. It's like, no, you're in a restaurant where your entree is gonna cost you $100, and you look like you just rolled off of Fremont Street, like panhandling. Not good. So that I would change.
So what do you think? We'll start with the locals. That's kind of related. What do you think of the guitar?
I look forward to it. I look forward to the place coming and some competition at the Strip. It's always good that, you know, when I first moved to town, when I first came to town, you know, I had 21 places to bet at. Now there's 6. I mean, just everything is swallowed up and monopolized by 1 or 2 sports books. So it's good to see the Hard Rock coming into town. I think it's going to be the #1 casino destination in the town. You don't have to be the amazing Crescent to think that. I mean, it's going to be a really popular place here in town. However, I don't think it'll outclass the Wynn. I think the Wynn in Encore is the classiest place in this town to play, classiest place to go to. Sports books are beautiful, the clientele is great. I absolutely love the Wynn. That's my favorite place.
Karen and Josh, what do you think? The guitar.
Hey, you're a local. Go ahead.
Okay,
Kind of.
I'll take that.
Kind of.
I'm here now. No, I agree with everything Bill said. I think that having a different property under a different corporate ownership on the Strip is always a good thing with all the consolidation.
Does everybody know what we're talking about? Primarily the Strip is, with the exception of Wynn, Venetian, Plaza, you have MGM, you have Caesar, so this is now Hard Rock.
Right, so just another player entered the game, doing things different and pushing the other properties to do things different and do things better. There's nobody loses with that.
Is it true that the Seminole Indians don't know Hard Rock?
Yeah.
Right? No. Seminole.
No, they don't know.
No, they
I shouldn't say.
They don't. The same way that there was the Hard Rock that was off the Strip before.
Which was different from
Was
the Hard
different.
Rock.
But it was a license. The Hard Rock name was licensed. Seminole Tribe owns the Hard Rock name. The Hard Rock Casino that is coming here is the Seminole Tribe. No. It's a good question. No, it's very good. My biggest issue with the guitar itself, and I agree, I love that there's another party coming onto the Strip because it gives you more options. It is so locked into 2 major corporations. And that's why I still mourn Cosmo getting bought every fucking day because, you know. But the one thing that I don't like about the guitar, hotel is, well, 2 things. One, it's not original. Right. They have a guitar hotel in Florida So when it comes to Vegas casino properties, they're new, they're original, they're different. This is not. Might be a bigger version, I don't know, but it's not new. The second thing is it blocks a view. Where that hotel or where that guitar is located is going to block a view anywhere north of that. So it used to be at TI, you could look down the strip and see everything right down there. Now, unless you're in that guitar hotel, you're not gonna be able to see anything. From north, you're blocked. So, but do I like that it's another property, different gambling? Yeah.
I'm not a local, but I was surprised when I first saw the construction, how huge it's gonna be. And I remember years ago, I brought my dad to Las Vegas, he's not a gambler, and we drove from the airport and we came upon Excalibur, and it was like, wow, Excalibur. Think about that now, it's like, Excalibur, right? I think the guitar, at least on the strip, the huge guitar.
It's gonna be a
wow. Wow.
It's pretty amazing. Do you miss the volcano?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't? I miss the Mirage. I mean, the Mirage was so iconic. I have so many memories there, so many movie memories there. There's so much about the Mirage that you miss. I think that, and I'm not going to say it right, I think Mark said it very frequently, is that, you know, you have to learn to say goodbye to old friends in Las Vegas because it's going to change and it's going to happen. And this is an example of that. You know, MGM bought the Mirage and it was so far away from all their other properties that it didn't give a shit about it and let it fall into disrepair. And that was the one property that was easiest for them to sell off. And they did, and they needed to, and so that's what happened. And now somebody else is gonna take that and say, great, I appreciate that you had this once iconic property that you let fall into disrepair. Now I'm gonna make it something else. And that's what Vegas does. The fact that they didn't implode the entire original building and the hotel tower and everything else, and they're gonna renovate it, is kind of amazing. So, yeah, I mean, do I miss it? Yes. Is it Vegas? Yeah, it's gonna change.
In a minute, I wanted to see if anybody had any questions from the audience, but real quickly before we do that, or the audience, from the audience. Either way, I have lots of questions for you.
Why? How's it going?
So what's your favorite part of Las Vegas? Let's start with James.
Oh, my favorite part of Las Vegas is I can forget about my real life. Like I'm coming here, I'll wear a jacket most of the time. I get to go and eat amazing food at restaurants and gamble and just kind of like forget about everything else that's going on. I get to stay in some of the nicest hotels in the country for either quote unquote free or at least a lot cheaper than it would if I was going to New York or London or something. So yeah, that's mine. Mine is very much of the escapism.
I'm sure Bill's answer is going to be the same.
The same, right? That's exactly.
I do like that we have some really good restaurants. I think that's fantastic. I'm more of a mom and pop guy though. I patronize mom and pop breakfast places, even dinner places. I go to the Italian American Club once a week. I love that place. You're walking into the 1960s, old school lounge piano player, fantastic food for a cheap price. Not that I'm trying to give them an advertisement, that's just one of the places I go to. I go to a lot of mom and pop. I love that. But I do like the casinos, the options that go into the casinos too. And I like to play some even progressive video poker jackpots. So there are some local casinos I know, and even on the strip once in a while, that there's a jackpot that's positive EV for me to play, or if you get a group of people or finance a group, I'll do that. But I do like that. But all that being said, I still wouldn't recommend people trying to say, oh, let's move to town. Because people say that, they come to Vegas for the first time, they're neon, they're driving down, and they say, honey, we gotta move here. It's of course it's nice. You're on vacation.
Living here is not the same as vacationing here.
It's not the same. So living here is, there's a lot of vices here. Drinking, gambling, there's a lot of vices here. So it's not for everyone, and I wouldn't even recommend it for people, believe it or not.
Josh and Karen?
So I will kind of build on what James was saying. I like the escape. I like that I can kind of be someone a little bit different in Las Vegas as well. Like there's nothing attached to who I am at home. I work in a pretty professional capacity. I would not dress this ostentatiously, at home. Well, not
Love the shirt and the matching pockets. Great.
So yeah, all that escapism and the fact that we don't ever run out of stuff to do. In fact, it seems like with every trip, the list of things we want to do gets longer because we go back to some of the favorite things. We got to do that again, but also we saw that other thing over there that we want to do on the next trip. And so, yeah, we never seem to run out of the fun things that we want to do on a trip. So keep doing that.
And so I'm going to disagree with Bill a little bit because I learned to love Vegas for what I loved Vegas for, which was the food, which was the shows, which was the escapism was a big part of it. That's why I loved it. But my husband was badgering me to move to Vegas for forever, and I'm like, fuck no, nobody lives in Vegas. Nobody lives in Vegas. I'm not moving to Vegas. Why would you do this? Until I met somebody that lived in Vegas, and I realized Vegas is a real town, a real city. It's as somebody, I've lived here now 7 years, so not nearly as long as you have, but I can live in Vegas, the town, and I only have to go to Vegas, the Strip, or Fremont when somebody's in town visiting, there's a show I want to see, or I might want to go to a restaurant. The food, you are 1,000% right. The local cuisine is amazing, and most of it is because these top big celebrity chefs bring in their right-hand people and they work on the Strip for a while and they get tired and then they go out and they, start their own little place in a suburb where the rent is cheaper, they can work the hours they want to, and the food is fucking amazing. If you are at all a food person, get off the Strip. You can do all the fine dining, high-end, Michelin star, all the other bullshit on the Strip. Get off the Strip and go to some of the local joints, and they're amazing. And so one of the things that I love the most about living in Vegas is the convenience of having the Strip and downtown there when I want to go, but never having to go if I don't need to. I don't have to live in it. I don't have to deal with all of this. I can be in my happy little suburban lifestyle and love every minute of it.
I'll let Dr. Mike add on to us. We're gamblers. All that we really care about is the gambling in Las Vegas. Nothing against the way that the food is fantastic now and the hotels and everything. We just like to gamble, and it's so great to be able to just go from one place to another and gamble. They're all close to each other. Yeah, it takes a while on the Strip to get from one place to another. But if we want to just change location, it's great. We are gamblers.
Yeah, that's what we do. We say just, Mark always says, why are we doing this? This is what we do.
This is what we do.
But I'm glad that my favorite thing about Las Vegas is the memories. Because you can make a lot of memories here. Like, I remember the time that Paul and I, you weren't with us, but we went to that parachute thing where they just blow you up in the air and pretend like you're parachuting. I remember, the Lions at MGM.
We look fondly back on when we had no money.
Yes.
And we were, 5, 6 in a room at Landmark.
Right.
Which was a dome. Yeah. Right? You can hear the toilet flushing above you.
Any room flushes toilet, every room hurts.
And it was $5 a night. I'm not kidding. Yeah. When I stayed with our friend Greg, it was $5 a night. We look fondly about that. Not that we want to do that now, but yeah.
And when we were younger, you could walk down the Strip, it wasn't very crowded, and, just goof around. I shouldn't say this, but morning and night, we're walking down the Strip, and these girls came up and said, "You guys need dates?" And this was back like in the early 70s.
Sure.
And Doug's like, "Yeah, I need dates." I'm like,
terrific. We're gonna go out and have a nice dinner, and that'll be it. Thank you.
We were so naive about everything. And I also remember at what was it?
Started?
No, the dollar place.
Silver City.
Silver City, yeah.
So Silver City is an old casino. I think it's a Silver City. It's still like a strip mall right now, but it was across the street, kind of from Circus.
And we were playing blackjack, and they draw a name every 30 minutes, and then they put you in a big cage with the money blowing around, and you have like 30 seconds to grab all the money and And two of us got picked for that. Me and Paul, I think, was gentleman, but stuff like that. It's those memories. I'll never forget that my whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have any money. I played 21 hands of blackjack. I'm not kidding. Won every single hand. 21 straight hands for $1. never increased my bet. I only came with $50.
I think that for a lot of us up here, the memories of coming to Vegas when you didn't have much money, when you were younger, as a, just footloose and fancy free. I mean, I like to tell the story that I stayed at the Circus Manor Motor Lodge.
Yeah.
Which is, when you could go and resort fees and things like that, Vegas has changed in that way now, that those kind of opportunities, I think, to go and really have cheap fun. I think it still exists in certain pockets, but
Unfortunately, you have to search for it.
Yeah.
In the old days, you just came to town and was there, yeah. I'm not complaining, I'm not.
Many a times, we left San Diego after work on a Friday night, drove to Vegas.
Without planning it.
Without
Let's
planning,
go.
just like, you want to go to Vegas tonight? Yeah. We leave work 1 a.m., drive to Vegas, not get a room, play all night Saturday, or play all day Saturday night, and drive back Sunday. And that was just a normal thing for us. And you could get cheap plane tickets. Remember, we flew here.
We would do junkets, they used to have junkets,
Yeah.
right, where you pay.
We were on the plane longer than we were in the casino.
That's not false.
no pressure, but any questions from the audience anybody want to ask? I see a hand way in the back. Talk loud and I'll repeat it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. This has been really, really fun to listen to. I related to a couple of things about living here and visiting here being very different. I did the same in Hawaii when I was a lot younger. It was a whole different thing. But and also the sort of the, I don't know if it's just Vegas. I don't think it is. But the whole being courteous and considerate, in engagement, which feels like that's changed in all kinds of areas in the last few years, not just Vegas. But I wanted to ask if you guys had any, so I only got into this ecosystem in 3 years ago in Tahoe with ZorkFest, and that was my introduction, Michael, and it was great. And I was Justin spoke and a couple other people spoke, and so I was able to find out how to get some rooms and take advantage of the place to gamble and that sort of thing. And I was able to get MGM and Caesar's status at a level that counted. Where resort fees were taken off and valet fees were taken off, and sometimes free rooms and that sort of thing. So that changed the following year. And I was wondering if you had anything to say about this year, if there's anything that could be done besides getting on the card and working that aspect. I got a whole bunch of cards I could get from that, whether it's MGM or Caesar's, and whether the new sort of a lot of wealthy people taking advantage of whether it's meeting rooms or rooms at hotels or all that versus the rest of us, whether that's making a difference. Sorry, that's a lot.
Repeat that, Duffy.
Yeah, that's right. I want to say all that. Let's kind of maybe what I get is the theme of that, correct me if I'm wrong, but the changing demographics and how maybe the money side of Vegas has changed. Go ahead, Karen, if you want to jump in.
I mean, I have a thought because part of what I do for work now is related to the casinos, and it's the lower end casinos, not the higher end casinos. In Vegas right now, there is a definite divide between Wynn, Venetian Palazzo. They are doing phenomenal. They are having no problems whatsoever. All of the other properties, including Caesars and MGM, are struggling. The lower end properties are struggling the worst. And so, yeah, there's a huge divide in all that, but I think it speaks to that division of wealth, right? And the folks that are coming to win are not gonna be, going to the Link or to Planet Hollywood even, which is not a bad property. It just, there's a huge division and divide right now, which I think is true. I don't want to get into any kind of politics. I think it's true everywhere. I think that, if you look at what's happening in the stock market and the economy and everything else, Vegas is a reflection of that.
Would you agree, Karen, and everybody, that the lower end property, so not Wynn, not Venetian Palazzo, you're able to take advantage of things now that you weren't able to a couple years ago?
What do you mean, Mark?
Well,
Like
I'm saying,
stuff,
so
right?
we've all heard of, oh, Vegas is dead, Vegas is dying, which is ridiculous, right? Vegas is doing fine. Yes, the numbers are down, but Vegas is doing fine.
Not all of Vegas.
Not all of Vegas. Is that an opportunity for lower, mid-range players? And I don't know the answer to that. What do you think?
I would say not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. So the middle class is eroding, and Vegas hasn't figured it out yet. And there are more wealthy people, but that's only so much pie. And I don't think that Vegas properties have figured out, okay, what are we going to do besides Circus? What are we going to do to attract the low rollers and keep them coming back again and again? Because there was a period there where everyone was like high rollers, high rollers, high rollers, and there's only so many of those to go around. There's a whole lot more of us low rollers out there, and so what are we going to do to get them to show up and keep coming back? And again, we do say this on this panel. This town is really, really good at reinventing itself when it needs to, and so that will manifest itself in some way. I don't know how, but I think it's coming.
It might start with not charging you $25 to park your car, and then have a machine that doesn't work when you go out.
It is so hard to get out of the Caesar's parking lot. Any Caesar's parking lot.
Where they need to start,
To park my car, at least have an attendant there.
where they need to start is not charging me $35 a day at the shittiest properties for a newspaper and local phone calls.
Local photo. What year is this?
Look on the list.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
still
know.
there as a benefit of your resort.
Bill, go ahead.
I also would say for people to, I never sign up for a card in the casino unless I'm getting something. So and they will get desperate after a while. They'll have, we just had a big time of status matches where if you had a diamond card or something, another property, they would give you a black card to win. They would give you, so recently we had one at the Rio, which was unbelievable. I still can't believe that this went on for a month. If you had a diamond card or above, or if you had a higher level card at any casino, they gave you $500 real free play. And literally the last couple days, there was a hour and a half, 2.5 hour line just to get a card. And you go right to the video blackjack machine and play the $500 for one time and leave with $450. And even my wife, who doesn't gamble, I had her go down there and she literally, I had a card, of course it was me playing. At Caesars, she had a diamond card, and went down there, and she was aggravated at me too. I told her, I said, listen, you're gonna get $500 for it. She didn't want to wait online, but I made her do it for her. She waited online, and literally, they gave you a status match card and gave everyone $500 each in the casino. I'm not saying just play it through and leave, but there are times that you would do that, but they're looking for your business, of course. But the status matches were a real big thing. Right now, there's a couple of them. There was even bigger. So every once in a while, there'll be a lull in the casino business where one of these people that are working in marketing will actually say, hey, let's have a status match. Let's get some more clients in here. It's not going to be the ones in the encores, of course. But it's a really good thing to take advantage of. You could just read about it, do Google searches on it. You really don't have to even, like I said, you don't have to even gamble to know these things. They advertise them almost everywhere. So just keep your eye on things like that.
A lot of the Indian casinos, I know in California especially, do that constantly.
Yes.
And that's why they're full. That's why they're packed.
They are packed.
They they get people in there. I mean, you give someone a 6-pack of Coke, they come in, and they'll come back. I mean, it doesn't take that much when you start talking about giving them a lot of free play. There's that one time we were getting so much free play, it's like, why would we go anywhere else? We got our free play, went right to video poker, started, and then we lost it later, but we did get a lot of free play.
I'm gonna say that we answered your question.
Yes. Okay, big beautiful bill.
Okay.
The big beautiful bill is so stupid. But I'll let Bill talk about it more than anything, but seriously, the problem is, it's like, okay, you've got, here's how much you won, here's how much you lost. Well, what is that, when I'm thinking about how I play as a gambler, here's how much I won or lost for the entire year. I'm not thinking in terms of sessions, and it's even worse for sports bettors because, okay, what if I bet on the Super Bowl? What is the session that the IRS wants to see on a futures sports bet to constitute what wins and what loses? It should just be your net for the whole year, and that is what you're taxed upon. Sorry, Bill, go ahead.
No, it's not just us sports bettors, by the way. It's you folks out there, casino gamblers even. If you play and you win more than you lose, and you want to write off your losses, you're only allowed to write off 90% of your losses.
Yeah, that's what's in the new bill.
It's unbelievable. No one would even believe it, but it was snuck on like a court act or whatever it was, a big move. Well, obviously, there was one 20 years ago, a court act. Now this new one here. It actually is discouraging big players. People who come in with, $20, $30, $50,000 credit lines, they play slots. They cannot write off their losses up to 100% of their wins. It's unbelievable, and you can't get one of these lawmakers to even understand it because, of course, on the bill they wrote, they said, oh, we're going to raise $7 billion more in taxes. They're blind to anything else, but it's actually going to hurt Joe Publix also, not just professional gamblers that bet sports.
So are you going to stop betting sports?
Yeah, it's a very interesting subject. It really is. It's funny that I actually told my wife she may have to go back to work. So, but my wife is an attorney actually, and she actually is more petrified than me about it. It is something that's scary because I win. I pay a quarterly estimated tax. I'm paying it next week. I pay a quarterly estimated tax on my win, and I write off my losses against my win. Now I cannot write off 100% of my losses in certain situations against my wins. But will I stop? I won't stop betting sports. There are ways. Now listen, I'm not trying to go around taxes or anything and circumvent anything, but there are some
nothing you
things.
would say in public and not.
No, I mean, listen, I'm pretty open book. I probably pay a lot more taxes than I even should, but I don't want any problems, and I do live a good lifestyle. I can't say I make a little bit of money and you're driving a car, whatever it may be, I live in the house, whatever it may be. So I am concerned about that. We have a person here in town with Derek Stevens, and there was a representative, Titus was her name, and she was trying to fight for us gamblers and just common sense, but it's very hard. She failed her first go around with the Congress, so I think, hey, listen, we have less than 30 days. It's going to go into effect. You're not going to be able to write off. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to use me. I'll use Joe Publix again. You come in and you win a jackpot for $10,000, and you gamble at your local casino and you gamble this, and at the end of the year, you have 10,000 in losses. You cannot write off the 10,000, even though you broke even. 10,000 in win, 10,000 in loss. You're still going to be required under this law to pay tax on $1,000, only 90%. It's insane, stupid. Yep.
So is anyone surprised that the government snuck
Right.
something into the bill
You
so
know,
they could make more
That's
money?
interesting. We talk about it, we have a weekly poker game, and some of the guys were chiming in on it. Oh, it's, the Republicans, because they're conservative, they hate gamblers, or, oh, no, it's a different. No, it was just snuck in. It wasn't some kind of lobbyist that came in and done that. They snuck it in. It's stupid.
Anybody else have a question? Go ahead, Karen.
with the recent popularity of all of these slot influencers, right, the Vegas Mats of the world, the Lady Lucks of the world, do you think that that's good for Vegas? Is it, you know, does it maybe draw people? Like, what impact, if any, do you think that has on Vegas?
Question, if you couldn't hear at the back, is about the rise of Vegas influencers. Good thing or bad thing?
I think it's a great question. I'm so glad you asked this. Because, you know, I do 13 shows a week, from Fox Sports Radio nationwide to shows downtown, and I gamble. And I don't mean to jump ahead of anyone that said anything, but one of my biggest things is responsible gambling. I know what it is to be that kid that lives in back east, and literally I live back east in the Bronx, and my mother was old-fashioned Italian, the whole family gambled. It's a rite of passage. You know, pitching quarters against the post office, playing cards. So I know exactly what you mean. The influencers, and I'm friends with some of them. I'm friends with Vegas, man. I like him a lot. He's a real nice guy. And there is some of them on there. But they glorify it so much. Yeah. It looks so easy. Yeah. So at home, you're sitting alone with them, and you're like, wow, I gotta gamble. It does. It actually promotes more irresponsible gambling. Yeah. Yeah. So I have a big responsible gambling platform where I make sure that I gambled since I was a kid, 9, 10 years old. I was playing parlay cards. My father was taking me to the track. He didn't know any better. They didn't know. You know, when Thanksgiving, perfect example, we just passed it. Thanksgiving, when the kids went to sleep, all the adults started playing peanut bowl, continental gin. They all started gambling. So it was in our blood. And I know what it is to be a little bit of a DJ too. And I have a lot of friends like that. So it's really good that you bring that up. It's you know, you see the TikToks and the Instagrams, and you see them all flashy with the fancy cars and the fancy thing. It's not, first of all, when you're looking at those things, it's their best life, they try to call it. A lot of them are really fugazi, they're fake. A lot of the things you're seeing. So it's a really great question you bring up. And not that I'm against it, I want them to make a living, it's great, but I just don't think they should glamorize it the way they do.
Well, Bill, I got, your opinion probably matters more on this because you're expensive, but the few of those I do watch regularly, to the best of their ability, trying to still be entertaining, do say, one, you shouldn't gamble like this. I'm using my YouTube money, sponsor money, and money I'd saved up. And of course, as I grew, I could bet more. You got to be responsible. I've heard them say it to the best they can and still be entertaining. What else can they do besides not do it?
No, you're right. My father's the best example of that. Right? My dad, I used to take him to Atlantic City. And we would show him video poker, proper strategy. And I would say, no, wait, don't hold it. And he'd actually say to me, son, you're taking my fun away. This is a job. I'm here to have fun and lose a couple hundred. He was right. I was wrong. Just because my brain was set on, you know, getting the best of everything. If that's part of your question, you are right though. And it is entertainment. And I don't mean to say anything bad about it.
I didn't think you did, but you know, just suggestions, because like I said, the few I watched do mention regularly, you should not gamble but for fun within a budget, and they try to.
That's wonderful. I didn't know they.
But I think they could do a better job. But even I drive a truck, I have nothing to do to think of stuff.
Sure.
Out of boredom, but I can't think of a better way for them to do it. But there should be a better way. I just can't think of one either, and I didn't know you had an idea.
I think disclosing on video. Here's where I was at this session. Here's what I put in.
Well, like Bob, everybody picks on, he does that.
Here's what I did this month, too.
Everybody does it.
Right, but not just on a session basis, because that's the session I decided to upload. But like this month, here's what I put in, and here's what I've got now. And also, here's how much of this that I put in, that I can write off, not because of, I can write off my losses, but I can write off what I put in, because it's a business expense, because it's doing the YouTube videos. And that is a different equation than you or I going in there.
Yeah.
Right? And so disclosing all that on the video, that's accountability. And I think that could help a lot, but it's not as exciting, so they're not going to do it.
I don't want to, I want to put like the Vegas and the slot machine TikTokers and everybody else in the same category as everybody else that's on TikTok and Instagram and everybody else doing this. They have found a way, whatever it is that they're doing, food, whatever it is, to monetize. And you can put one of those happy little disclaimers up, like, I'm getting my YouTube money, so don't gamble like I am. It doesn't matter what it is you're doing. If they're getting money from another source and not fully disclosing it, there's a huge, and I think this is a societal issue at this point. You see these people that are all over TikTok and YouTube and wherever they're at, making all this money, and you're like, I could do that too. They tell me how easy it is. This is a fucking full-time job. If you want to talk about a full-time job, look at a fucking professional gambler. He does this all the time, all day long. You're gonna walk away from your life, your family, your current job, everything else to make this what you want it to be. And you better hope that you're cute and somebody finds you attractive and everything else. Like, there's a huge, and I don't understand it. I'll be honest, guys, I don't follow the TikToks. They annoy the shit out of me because I look at this and go, this is bullshit. Maybe I have a better bullshit meter than most people, but that's the hard part, is they make it look so easy. If you follow this, the one that drives me crazy, and I don't remember who the fuck his name is, and I don't even want to bring it up, but he is selling like, hey, pay me 10 grand and bring 5,000, and I will put you on a high-limit slot machine, and you're going to win. And I'm like, how are people falling for this, and what kind of an asshole are you that you are willing to suck people into this? So there's a whole, social media is a whole dangerous, crazy, stupid, sorry.
Good.
Hutch, less than, Trey, less than a week ago, a 14-year-old in my algebra class said to me, why do I have to get a job? Why can't I just play roulette? I mean, he was dead serious. He was not joking. He said, yeah, I saw, I've been watching stuff and I can win on roulette and, okay. So much for math class.
Well, that's
That is a true story.
Respect, like, that's what the word I would use, but like Bluff, at least he'll get on. He even has one of his shows each week where he quote unquote gambles his YouTube paycheck, but he'll show what he made on Thursday of last week, for his monetization, and that's what he gambles. And he also has one show where everything he wins, he does local charity.
Wow.
But he also talks about.
I would guarantee he's showing what he made on one day, he's not showing what happened all the other days.
Oh, I know.
That's the difference.
Oh, I know, no, he admits it, but he don't show the rest. But
But that's
that
the
day
difference.
is for that day, but if you extrapolate, he's making money.
Oh, he is, and that's the thing, make money. If you're doing this, make money, that's fine. But the problem is that they're showing it in a way that, like, it's so easy for me and you can do it too.
I hate that.
It
But
drives me fucking crazy,
but
because
he
it's
does
not
lose
that
a lot
fucking
on his
easy.
show.
Now, Matt though he has a once-a-year show where he shows exactly how much he loses per year. I love that.
But I think
want you to watch this thing, I'm gonna show you what I lost, because every one of
I
them
think
loses.
Matt influenced Bluff because they both play
Okay.
and run together a lot.
I like that he's very open, he shows you what he lost, but he also admits that he makes millions of dollars on the views from YouTube. So,
And I think that's why Bluff does what he does, because Matt was already there, and I think Matt probably took him under his wing somewhat, since Bluff's mostly tables,
Okay.
and so they don't really cross.
And a perfect example, he plays at El Schwartz.
Yeah.
I'm not even allowed in the building for doing just using my brain. So I have the guys that are there. I can't even go there and enjoy some stone crabs at the cafe because I won a progressive slot jackpot that I was called in on. I'm not allowed in that building. But Matt can do all the shows there and bring everyone in. It's unbelievable.
I think it's interesting, we didn't bring ourselves up as influencers.
I don't think any of us on the panel claim
Oh,
that
trust me,
you
guys,
can win
I'm
at
like-
gambling or anything like that, right? We're all pretty honest about, hey, especially those of us who say, we're gambling club. We never say that you can win if we're playing, right? We're very upfront about it.
Because it's never happened.
It's right, never.
Never.
Bill might be the exception because again, he's an AP, sports player.
I think
but-
it's Jason and Bill that, because, Handy at the Chandy is implying that he's winning a hand pay. And, Bill does this for a living, like, 360Vegas, we just love Vegas and talk about it. You guys have a great time gambling, it's what you love to do. So there's a very different, so maybe kind of like James and,
Oh, yeah. If you listen to our show lately, you've heard all of the money I won lately.
I think Michael has. All right, go ahead.
Actually, you can win at Baccarat side bets against Eric Rosenthal.
Stop it with Baccarat. Stop it.
And get him to take a side bet that's really shitty. That's definitely an opportunity.
Also, if
It's
Mark
very
goes
limited,
back to, being his own sports book, that's a good way to make money too. Cleaned up on that.
I took some bets with my friends back in the days. It didn't go too well.
All right, but back again?
I'll do it again. There are a couple of things. One was, it really is disconcerting and kind of sad to listen to a lot of these spaces, whether they're credit or gambling, whatever, where they downplay and denigrate going to college. It's always like, oh, college is, this terrible thing and it's not worth it. So I don't know if that speaks to what you guys were talking about at all.
This is nothing new, even though we're in the internet age. There have always been hucksters, right, telling you that you can claim a new thing. It's just a little easier for these hucksters to get the information out there. So, all I would say, at least to everybody here, is, if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true, right? And, we love to gamble, and we would never claim that playing casino games is a way to make money.
But there are people out there that claim they win though. There's, on the internet, I'm sure people in this room have definitely seen this con man, that his tattoos and everything, he says he wins, and he says that the casinos have cheated him, he won $50 million. He's a total con man. There's another guy that does slots, this D Lucky guy, he says he's a total con man. You know what? I'm a rare person, maybe because I'm a New Yorker, I have no problem challenging any one of them, and I'll put up a lot of money to say that they can't win consistently. They're total, I use it on purpose, they're total bullshitters. Absolutely correct. But the public, the kids, your grandkids see it, and they say the 14-year-old sees it and says, oh my God, look at this guy. He's got a brand new car, and he's saying the casinos cheated him, and he won all this money. Of course they're gullible. They're just new to gambling, they're new to life, they're new to the earth. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. So I see that a lot.
We worked for a guy, Mark and I, and he went once a week to the casino in San Diego, play blackjack, and he told me he's never lost.
Yeah, you claim that, right? Oh, you never lost. He wasn't a counter. Just, I never lost.
All right. Even counters,
yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Oh, good for you. Congratulations. Move along.
Maybe he meant he was winning it.
Like they, you can earn a lot of money, and somehow all these areas where the people that are our doctors and our pilots and our, all the people that we count on to create infrastructure or whatever, it's like, we blew that away and just let's make money. But what I wanted to say twice or two times was, is it Keren?
Yes.
Yeah, I want more of you guys on the panel. So I really appreciate what you had to say. So
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And the last thing was, I don't know if I ever got that one question. Maybe I didn't ask it exactly right. So the 2 years ago, I was able to get MGM Gold and Caesars, whatever it was, and I could get all of that. Is there anything right now that you can recommend that's close to that?
I'm not quite sure I understood the question.
Well, more like,
So are you asking for how you get tier status?
More easily than 2 years ago?
Relatively easy.
So-
A couple years ago, like playing a little bit of, slots, a little bit on my phone, and
So the easiest way for Caesars is look for the multiplier events. I don't know where you live, where they have the multiplier events. They have one out here in January 10 times.
Right now.
Oh, they have it now?
And I think,
tier credits.
and I think that
7 times? Okay.
Venetian Palazzo has a thing where they have certain times when you get triple tier credits, and MGM has their tier credit accelerators that they run daily. If you get a certain number, you get a bonus each day.
And it's literally just come out, when they're having those, come out here and just, or find your local property, because the locals, if it's MGM or Caesars, the locals will have the major multipliers way more than Vegas will. Find those, do them, like go in,
Grind it out.
know that I'm gonna go in and play, and that's where you'll get it.
And maybe to get to your question, I don't think there's anything today that's easier to do than 2 years ago necessarily.
Well, I think there's fewer match opportunities in the work.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's kind of the same thing. You just gotta grind it out on those days where it's more lucrative to grind it out.
I don't even know if you want anything now too. Like the Caesars, to have the better Caesars card, I was 7 stars in the past. It was fantastic. They would guarantee you a room at one of their properties. They don't even do anything anymore. They took the lounges away.
It gives you free parking and
Free
no
parking.
resort fees,
Yeah, now
and maybe like 4 cocktails a day.
just nothing, and they're taking that away at some of the properties, the 4 cocktails a day. So I don't think it's even worth playing that initial offers to get that. I think you're gonna lose more than the card value will be to you. Unless you're gonna use that card to get tier matches at other properties down the line. I wouldn't even recommend my family to do that right now, this time here, at the end of 2025.
As we kind of begin to wind our way down here, I think that just about everybody here is in some way or another played or might consider themselves a video poker player. And I think a couple of us on stage have even had royal flushes today.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah. Josh?
It is
The
100%.
two Joshes.
Josh.
First, one.
40,000. Wow.
Legitimate world flushes, it's not like you're playing 100 lines.
No, 100 lines count, as long as you're risking any kind of money, it was fine. That counts, baby. That counts.
It was 5 months. And I want you to know, Duffy, I did it without banging on the button.
So the reason I mentioned video poker is as we kind of wind our way down, James on the end is probably the newest podcast of the Las Vegas gambling scene, the Handy and the Shandy podcast. It focuses primarily on video poker adventures in Las Vegas. And I told James I was going to ask this question beforehand, but how do you make a podcast interesting just talking about video poker?
Yeah, I've been wondering myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a lot of people in here, there's that question. Well, you just get Boring Jack to talk about it. And in fact,
Boring Jack's fantastic.
Boring Jack is the only reason why anything happens on the show. That's 100% true. But for real, actually, Jack was pushing back against us doing as much. He was like, "Oh, this is gonna be boring," and I'm like, "The feedback that we're getting are people are really enjoying learning these little intricacies of, oh, here's what a tipping point is in Ultimate X, right? Where maybe you'll hold 4 of the flush, or maybe you'll hold 3 instead of face cards." And then, when he goes down, the whole thing of, oh, if you know what your top payout is for your game, every notch down is about 1.1% off of the hold and all this other stuff. Like, we've got a lot of feedback about how, people wanted that. So it was really fun. And there's 472, I don't know if that's the right number, variants of video poker right now. If I go to one of those machines, I can. So if everyone gets sick of Ultimate X, then I'm just going to convince Boring Jack to go play Super Times Play or something different, and then he can talk about that. So that's the plan. But it's not like we put video poker in the name of our fucking podcast and then stop talking about that.
No, but it's handy if it's handy at the Shandy, you're getting paid for a video poker hand.
That's exactly what Handy at the Shandy means. It's all about hand pay. But you can play Keno. Caveman Keno you can play. That's all.
All right, let's move down the line and kind of plug a little bit of what we do. So Bill, we know you're on, I think you said 13 shows a week?
Yeah, and I would recommend my podcast for anybody. They're free on YouTube to watch. There are different ones. I have one with an Advantage Sports Better that worked for Billy Walters and myself, where we both worked for Mr. Walters for a decade, more than a decade. And then there's another one that's just me and John Orlando, which is Tony Orlando's son. We just talk about gambling. He's a degenerate gambler. He admits it. So he does. He admits it. He makes a lot of money, blows it all in casino gambling. And you can learn off him. I do a decent show downtown in Husburger Network that talks more about gambling. But talking about video poker, anyone that wants to learn anything on video poker, just do a Google search. A simple Google search on that game. Yeah. I'm telling you, you can learn 90% of what I know in 5 minutes. If you're playing bonus poker, just put bonus poker strategy in a Google search. Normally you'll get a site called the Wizard of Odds, Michael Shackelford's site. I promote Michael Shackelford all the time, but he doesn't even follow come back on that, I don't get it, but anyway. He's a super genius guy.
Has he met you?
Absolutely, no, super genius, but I'll actually recommend his site for free information. But just Google us, you'll see the poker strategy, and you'll have a lot more fun. In long term, you're playing something that's 2% compared to 12%. It's just so much fun to play video poker, and I would just recommend that if I can help anyone. That's a good thing for people to do.
I want to add on to what Bill said. If you are interested in learning more about video poker, there are free or very expensive trainers that you can get, apps for your phone, where you can practice at home and figure out, okay, when should I be holding and when should I be drawing, and stuff like that. It helped me a lot, so it's very, very good way of getting better at that game. Ask me because I got a royal flush.
For $9.99, he will show you which machine to play.
It's a little weird, because we were on a podcast that ran for 14 years. It's not running now. There's still some photos content that are coming out. We're not really sure what it's going to be, but we're still available on, the content's out there, 360VegasPodcast.com, on,
Patreon?
Thank you. It's still out there, and we're getting ready to drop that price down because I think the new content's coming to an end.
I think so.
So it's going to drop down to super cheap if you ever want to go back and especially look at like the Vegas history stuff. It's all going to be out there. We're fortunate that we're a bunch of really good friends that did this podcast together and we're working it out. There might be some new stuff coming out in the future. We don't know, but yeah, I don't know what else to say other than that.
So I'll add on to it a little bit. Yeah, I feel really blessed that I got to know Mark and Keren and Tony and be kind of like a fourth wheel, not a third wheel, but a fourth wheel on the podcast. But I knew that a couple of things were very clear that when Mark passed, we could not keep doing the 360 Vegas podcast. Even if there were 3 people willing to do it, we could not do that same podcast under that name because that was 100% Mark. But I also knew that I wasn't really done. I don't have a whole lot of other hobbies. I spend my time driving my kids to their hobbies, and so having something for me once a week or two was really important. And so I am working on possibly
You're working on his book.
So yeah,
Mark
I
book number 1, book number 2 is in the works,
Yes.
and Josh is working on that.
Yes.
God bless him. Give him some time, but that's going to happen.
Yeah, so Mark was a prolific amateur Vegas historian. He wrote a book, he released it, and I helped him do that. He has a manuscript for a second book, and I have been working on getting that out. And I know myself that if I focus on the next podcast, then the book's never coming out. So right now what I'm trying to do is get Mark's second book out, published, and then I turn my attention to kind of like the next iteration of 360 Vegas. I'm hoping she's along for the ride with me because, like you said,
we'll figure it out. I mean, we
I
have
think
a
people want more
fantastic
of her
audience.
and her F-bombs. So I'm hoping.
No, we have a fantastic audience, and if he wants to do something that's in the vein and along the line, then 100% support that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
So-
there's going to be more coming.
Yeah.
There might be a pause. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But,
We're not done, we just don't know what's coming next.
yeah.
So yeah, Dr. Mike and I, our podcast is even better than that. We are gamblers. We love to gamble. We don't claim to win at gambling. In fact, we absolutely do not win at gambling, but we love it. We've known each other for 40 years. I think we play against each other pretty well. We give each other a hard time. We have a lot of fun doing it. We talk a lot about craps. Lately, a little bit more about poker because I'm playing a little bit more poker. But we try to include all types of gambling. We've talked about the sports scandals that have happened recently in the NBA and the MLB. And, we try to talk about all games. Slots, not so much because I don't know how much can you say about slots. But we try to get everything in there, yeah. Yeah, we love to gamble. We always have.
And I'll just,
Nothing to add.
Okay.
and if you don't know me, I'm Josh Duffy, one of the co-hosts of the Crap Vegas podcast. As James alluded to, we don't always talk about crap.
Wait, the video poker podcast?
Yeah, I don't
The other
think,
guy doesn't.
I have never seen
He's
Chris
AI
and Josh in the same room.
It's all-
I think it's Clark Kent, Superman.
I swear swear to God I had.
All right,
Right?
I don't think you have. It's me.
It's just Josh, though.
I put on a Kentucky accent and.
Okay, there's a lot
And
more
you
than
hate
just the
your-
accent.
That's right.
So you can't just do the hair squirrel, you know, it's
That's right.
Superman and Clark Kent, you know, there's a little bit of a difference there.
But one of the things, not to plug myself too much, one of the things that I think we do a little bit differently on our podcast is my co-host and I are slightly higher level gamblers, so sometimes we talk about things that I think people enjoy kind of hearing about our experiences that maybe not everybody gets to do, and that's kind of fun. And James and I went to the Velocity Club for the F1 races, and that was fun, although we didn't actually have a seat to the race. The Velocity Club itself.
Yeah,
was
can you
fun.
start gambling more, so next time you take me, we can get a seat?
Anyway,
We watched it on a TV, I was like, we could be doing this in a video poker bar. What are we doing
but
here?
I got a jacket, friends.
Yeah.
I got a jacket. Anyway, thank you so much, James, Bill, Josh, Karen, Mark, Dr. Mike. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for listening. I hope you had a good time.
Thank you for coming out and staying up with us this late.
Cheers. Thank you so much. He's so big up.
Good job. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Spilled the drink all over my head.